Welcome everyone to our masterclass on releasing the shame and blame game with flower essences and essential oils. And today we are going to be talking about shame, and tomorrow we'll be talking about blame at the same time here. So let's look at this very deep and profound emotion that most of us have felt throughout our lives. This is something that most people have had or have and might not even know they have because it's so deeply repressed within the body, the mind, and it's blocking the soul from being on its purpose, your soul from being on your purpose. If you are suffering from repressed memories of shame and don't even know it, and you aren't even consciously aware of it. So today we're going to be talking about it, really what is shame, and how we can restore our self compassion and self confidence. So we also today, we are going to be having some prizes for you to receive when you stay on for the quiz. And we have a wonderful flower essence retreat that I'm offering in May here in California. So we would like to see who's on with us today. Please put your name. I mean, you don't have to put your name, but please put where you're from in the comments. We'd love to know where you're from. And let us know how you feel about shame. I'm going to put my slides up now. I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, so make sure you make comments. And Zoe, let me know if you guys can see my screen now. Can you see the screen? So today we're going to be talking about emotional intelligence, releasing the shame and blame game with flower essences and essential oils, part 1, shame. Being aware of your vulnerableness and how you can access your self-compassion and confidence to overcome the shame and blame game. Hello, my name is Lori Hargis. I'm a registered aromatherapist and flower essence practitioner and the founder of the Lori Hargis International School of Aromatherapy. And Zoe, please let me know in our messages to each other that you can see the screen because I can only see the screen. Thank you for that. So, are you secretive, silent, and judgmental towards yourself? This is something that we all can suffer from. I know I have. I was very secretive about a secret I had, and it didn't come out until my aunt told her secret to me. And when her secret came out about herself, then I felt I was able to tell my secret. Now, my aunt had been sexually abused as a child, and so she told me about it over the phone. And I listened very carefully. I didn't say anything to her. And then at that time, I went to my reflexologist, and I was having a reflexology treatment. And she and I were very close. I had been seeing her for a year every week. And I told her of the conversation that I had had with my aunt. And then I proceeded to tell her, oh, well, I was sexually molested also. And I kind of skimmed over it. Like, oh, it happens to lots of people, and what's the big deal that it happened to me? I didn't validate myself. And I tried to scoop it again under the rug. But once I had said it out loud to my reflexologist, and the way I said it to her, I realized that, wow, Lori, you have some work to do. You are not validating yourself or what happened to you. And this is a form of shame that I was feeling and had felt my whole entire life. It's interesting to think that as a small child, I knew what was right and what was wrong, even though my brain wasn't completely developed. And I always had this deep shame about it because, of course, I was told not to tell, right? Just as my aunt was. But because she told me, it freed me to tell my story and to start letting go of the shame around it. And that's what I hope today you will be able to do. You will be able to start your healing journey and letting go of shame, especially since we have these very special energies going on today. So today we're going to be working with these special energies, with ancient teachings, olfactory medicine, flower healing, breath work, connecting all of our bodies, incorporating mental and emotional wellness to develop self-confidence and knowledge. We're going to do some movement today. We'll have a formulation. And I hope that you will start telling yourself new stories after this class. And you're going to learn how to direct your energy to be active, radiant, and giving with my method. So let's begin with a mindful exercise to purify and protect with juniper essential oil and mountain pennyroyal flower essence, with these affirming energies of the solar eclipse and our super moon today. So in our health forecast, I talked about juniper essential oil because of its purifying and protective qualities that it has on our energy field, which is affected by the energies in the universe and also affected by our environment and our internal environment, our relationships, the places we live, and the things we do in our work, and the situations we find ourselves in. Mountain pennyroyal, the flower essence, helps us release emotional debris that's been in our energy field. And this is why I wanted to do this mindful exercise with you, because shame starts out here in our energy field, can come from an outside source, and then comes internally into us. And we take it for ours. And it lowers our self esteem, it lowers our self confidence. It can lead to addictions, depression, anxiety, stress. We don't know why we're stressed, tension in our bodies. And so Mountain Pennyroyal clears out that emotional debris. And that's the reason why we had it in our April health forecast. And also, we're working with it today in this masterclass. So, grab your blend. It was 12 drops of juniper essential oil with 4 drops of Mountain Pennyroyal flower essence. And I want you to open it up. And I asked you to put it in a roller ball in the health forecast. I want you to take a short sniff of it. The beautiful, clearing, sweet, balsamic aroma of juniper. And the clearing activation of Mountain Pennyroyal, of emotional debris and toxic things that have been put into our energy field. Now, take the blend, and if you've never used juniper before, make sure you apply it to your wrist to see as a patch skin test, like this. I don't have problems with juniper oil. And I've done it in a very small dilution, way below the EFRA standards. And what you're going to do is you're going to apply it at the third eye point here. Now, this third eye point connects into your pituitary gland. And your pituitary gland, on a energetic level, works on your vision. Being clear on what you want in your life, how to be creative, and how to manifest that. So when we clear out the things and we clear out the shame, we can get to that creativity, that innovation of whatever it is that we're doing, whether it's at home making a beautiful home for our families, or if it's a project in work related, or if it's our own internal creativity within ourselves of what we want to create for ourselves internally: peace, happiness, joy. So apply it there. And then what we're going to do is you're going to put your feet flat on the floor, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose like you're sniffing a rose, and out through your mouth like you're blowing out on a dandelion. So here we go. Now, I want you to imagine, focus in on the third eye. So keep your eyes closed, and I want you to imagine the color go. The color of our solar eclipse and our new moon coming together, these energies. And focus in on that color and see if you can see that in your mind's eye. Because this color will help you envision what you want in your life. It can lead you to further knowledge, of deeper knowledge of yourself and your purpose. And now, slowly open your eyes and feel your body let go of any tension, friction, stress, or pain. Feel yourself safe and protected as we go through this deep and profound healing of shame and blame. And let us know, and Zoe will send it to me in Messenger. She'll let me know how you're feeling now. Since we did this. Okay, great. So some people, you're saying that you're seeing black. That's perfectly okay. It just takes practice. All right? You just have to practice this. And finally, the colors will start coming in. You might never see a color, and that's all right too. It could be that you're feeling differently. So, how many of you are feeling different? We're all not visionaries. Some people are more kinesic or more feeling. Okay, so some people are saying they're feeling relaxed, more peaceful. And Zoe says she is feeling more peaceful too. Yes. So do not judge yourself. Again, do not judge yourself if you're not seeing a color. It could be just how you're feeling in your body. All right. We want you to feel purified, protected, and safe in this space with us today. During this masterclass series, you can take the quiz at the end, get a chance to win my book, and a place at our Flower Essence Retreat. So the person who participates the most in both days will get a free place at our Flower Essence Retreat. Also, make sure you book your free 30-minute individual Flower Essence session with Ruth or me. Zoe now is going to put that link in the comments so you can click that and you can have a free 30-minute session with us. And it was interesting, last time when we did this class, we did a master class, we had some people sign up for it and they said they almost didn't do it because they felt, oh, I'm taking too much time from Lori. Again, assessing themselves. And they were so glad when they did it. They were so happy they did it. So we're here to help you, Ruth and I. That's what we're here for. That's why we're offering it. So please feel free to sign up for this. And then we have a special offer today when you sign up for our Flower Essence Retreat, which is going to be May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then, of course, you can always ask us any questions, and Zoe will send that to us. So Lisa said, that was great. Juniper cuts through and spins the senses, sharpens the senses, Lisa says. Thank you so much. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Cynthia. And thank you, Lisa. So today you will learn what is emotional intelligence, what is shame, what are the signs of shame, what are the flower essences for shame, what is an essential oil, what are the essential oils for shame, flower essence and essential oil blend for shame, mindful exercise to feel protected and safe, and how to continue your emotional wellness journey. There's a lot more than just this, but these are just the major points that we're going to be learning about today. And this is our beautiful flower that we're going to be working with also today, Self-Heal, that you're seeing here on the side. So what is emotional intelligence? Well, according to the National Institute of Childhood Abuse and Neglect, emotional intelligence is a multifaceted concept encompassing the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and use emotions effectively in oneself and others. It plays a crucial role in interpersonal communication, self-awareness, and decision making. And today we're using emotional intelligence through our mindful exercises, becoming more self-aware of what's going on in our physical body, our energy field, and with how we're really feeling, especially about shame today. So what is shame? Psychology today says shame is an emotion that involves negative self-evaluation, believing that something is wrong with you as a person. You may believe you haven't lived up to certain standards and feel unworthy or inadequate as a result. Shame operates outside of conscious awareness, making it challenging to identify and overcome. But healing and growth are always possible. Just like what I said to you about when my aunt told her story, and then I started telling my story about the shame I was holding. I didn't have guilt. I didn't do anything wrong. I had shame. So let me know in the comments if you feel like that you are carrying some shame. What are physical signs of shame? Chest pains, increased body heat, tension in the chest, cannot talk loudly, not wanting to talk at all, avoiding eye contact, gut problems, collapsed posture. So that means you're sitting like this. You don't want anybody to know what's going on with you. Low energy and no motivation. So it's interesting because I have a student who works for the airlines, and there was a situation where there was a young woman and an older man together in the airport, and she's in charge of letting the people on the plane. She's in charge of all the people. And one of her staff members noticed the posture of this young woman. She wasn't making eye contact with anybody. Her posture was like this. And he had a suspicion about this. And he went over and he started talking to the young woman. And she was of a different color than the man, too. She was black and the man was white. And he said, "So, oh, are you here with your father?" And she said, "No." And she put her head down like this even more. And she started talking to him. They found out that she was being sex trafficked and he was bringing her through the airport. By him acknowledging her physical signs of this, he was able to help her get out of this. And the police came and took the man away. So we can see that he made her feel safe enough where she could speak up to him and tell what was going on. And the man was arrested. So this is something that we can always reach out to others to help them when they have symptoms or signs of shame. Now, here are some examples of shame. But before we go to this, how many have you, and let me know, and I'm going to look here and Zoe will let me know here. So Lisa says, "I used to, and you helped me get through it and transform it." Oh, Lisa, I'm so glad our work together helped you with that. Congratulations to you, because you did all the work. And then Cynthia said yes, and so did Susan, said yes, for sure. So now let's look at some examples of shame. Thoughts: thinking more cynically about the future. The feeling embarrassed or humiliated. Now, I redlined embarrassed because for me, being embarrassed doesn't lead me to shame, but each person is different. Embarrassed is, oh my gosh, I did something, I'm embarrassed, I tripped in front of somebody. And then later on, I can laugh about it. But it doesn't necessarily lead me to shame. Now, it could someone else, but I wanted to be very clear on that. The behavior is self-destructive behaviors like drug and alcohol use. Now, people don't think about this with addictions. But put this on your radar. We have such an epidemic right now with drug use and fentanyl and opiates, other opiates. Let's look at shame as part of this. Thoughts: negative and self-critical thoughts, hyper-focusing on flaws. Feelings: urges to hide or withdraw from other people. So, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. I know I can't do that. So you just don't try. You just give up. You just hide and withdraw. Isolating, avoiding, and withdrawing from others. The next one: rumination on past failures and rejections. You go over and over in your mind on how you didn't succeed before. That didn't work, that didn't work, that didn't work. Oh, what's the use, right? Feeling small, weak, helpless, or frozen. I'm just not going to do anything at all because it just never works out. And it goes over and over in your head. Then you become defensive. You push other people away when they try to help you. And you don't let your guard down. You believe other people are against you. Even if they're trying to help you, you believe they're against you. Underestimation of your abilities and strengths. You think, oh, can't do any. Oh, you get a stomach ache, you feel nauseated, or you get sick, right? Because I don't have those abilities and strengths when you do, but you don't believe you do because of the shame that you're holding. Self-sabotaging opportunities or relationships. So you sabotage things. A good thing comes along, you have an opportunity, but you self-sabotage it. You just you don't participate because you're sick. I'm nauseated. I don't feel good. Personalizing negative events and experiences. So this is something very easy to do, especially nowadays with social media. And I want you guys to mark which ones fit you, okay? So when you personalize a negative event, it could be that, I'm going to make this up. You posted something up on some form of social media and nobody liked it. And you spent hours on this video that you made. Nobody liked it. Nobody made a comment. And oh my goodness, I am not doing that again. I am just totally numb to this, and I am not going to do this again. And that's when you self-sabotage your opportunities. I'm sorry, I misread that. So we go back to the stomach thing, is where you avoid unfamiliar and challenging situations. Whereas personalizing negative events and experiences, it's you then self-sabotage yourself that you're not even going to try to, be in this relationship or be on this platform. It's just, nobody wants to see your stuff. Even though it could be the algorithms of one of these social platforms, has nothing to do with you personally at all, which is usually true. Be more suspicious and distrustful of others. So when you're holding shame within yourself, it's like, I can't trust these people. What? And then you become overly stimulated. You're just everywhere, hypervigilant, nothing can be right. So you're always fixing everything, cleaning everything, and you become overly sensitive. So someone walks in your house, oh, I'm sorry, my house isn't clean. Oh, this, oh, that. And they're like, your house is fine. Compromising and settling for less because of fears of failing. So you'll just, well, I really don't trust people and I'm just too sensitive. And so I'm just going to settle for this. The next one, anticipating or dreading future failures or rejection. I think this is a big one. And I also see this as part of self-destructive behaviors like drug and alcohol use. Being such a perfectionist that you don't even try. You just have anxiety about even trying. So why? So I'll give myself a fix. I'll drink alcohol. I'll look at porn. I'll eat. I'll do anything else but give it a try. And I got to put this in rodeo terms because I come from cowboys. And when you get on a colt, like my son, he used to ride colts all the time, you're going to get bucked off. And if you don't get hurt, you're going to brush yourself off, no matter how much dirt you got on yourself, and you're going to get back on that colt. And you're going to ride him again until you can ride him until he's happy to have you on his back. Without failure, you will never succeed. We all fail. How many of you here, put in the comments, have failed? How many of you have failed in life? Put it in the comments. Because when you fail, you then know how to succeed. I'm not going to do that again, right? That's what's part of being a human being and not being shameful of that you failed. And when we anticipate our failures, we get crabby. We feel irritable, we feel impulsive, and we're on edge. Oh my gosh, I don't think I'm going to succeed at this. And you get all edgy. You know, I know that I have done that before. You know, we're working on something new and I don't see that it's really happening. And then I get impulsive. Oh, maybe we shouldn't do that. I tell my team. And then I realize, no, you've planned this. You're going on. And I did this with classes. I remember in the early 2000s, one time I didn't have the 20 people I normally had. And I was in Dallas and the class was in South Carolina and there was only 6 people. And the people I was staying with the guy said, well, you probably shouldn't go. But my best girlfriend said to me, you should go. And I said, you're right, and I will go. And I did, and I ended up having one of the biggest clients I'd ever had. Within that 6 people was one person that made up the difference for all the 20 I'd had in other classes. So we can't let ourselves have dread or fear of failure, especially due to our shame that we have within ourselves that maybe we don't even know we have within ourselves. The last one is being overly focused on self and less aware of others. This is where it's always me, 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 me. I'm sick. I've got this. I've got that. I have to sleep. I have this. I have that. It's all about you. And you're not really paying attention to how other people are feeling around you. If you don't have compassion for people out there, are you really having compassion for yourself? How does that work? And then what can happen is you're moody and you're more emotionally unstable. And you're pretending or misrepresenting oneself to conceal shameful parts. And I find this very interesting, this part, pretending or misrepresenting, because a lot of people do that. They pretend. Everything's okay with me. It's all right. Didn't you know? And this brings us to vulnerability, the signs of shame. So first of all, we have vulnerability. Then we have masking feelings, afraid of feelings, rumination on past failures and rejections, afraid to make a mistake, repressed memories leading to irritability and moodiness, and overstimulated and sensitive. So let's look at what is a flower essence so we can see what flower essences can help us with shame. So a flower essence is a liquid potentized preparation, each carrying a distinct imprint of the character of a particular flower. Each living plant has an inherent original energy pattern, which Dr. Bach, a sensitive and learned English physician, found a way to capture and utilize in his work in the 1930s. He's the founder of flower essences. So flower essences is where you take a perfect flower which we're going to be doing in our flower essence retreat. We're going to be showing you how to make a flower essence, how the sun infuses that imprint, the polarity of that flower, and the positive that it's going to be bringing you into the water, into the hologram. And it offers you to your energy field and how that can help you feel better and let go of the shame and the blame. So what are the flower essences for self-compassion and confidence? So what we're going to look here is at how each flower can help you with that. So pink monkey flower helps us to be more emotionally open and honest, and courage to take emotional risks with others. So if you're in a you're wanting to be in a new relationship, and this is pink monkey flower. It's for fear, right? So it's fear of taking emotional risks and being open and honest. All mimuluses are about a form of fear. So if we're feeling shame, we're not going to be open and honest to others because we've got this shame there, right? How can I be honest when I'm feeling shameful? Agronomy, covering shame with a mask of cheerfulness, a carefree demeanor that hides inner turmoil. And in our flower essence course right now, we've been working on the archetypes of flowers, and we've been looking at certain people who represent those archetypes. And if you look at the agrimony personality, you can connect it with people, for example, who are like comedians or actors who are always playing up, they're so funny, they're so this, and then underneath they're masking how they truly feel. They're giving everybody else pleasure out here, entertaining them, but down deep, they have a lot of shame and they're not feeling good about themselves. And so it leads to drugs, alcohol, addictions, and suicidal tendencies. Then let's go to this beautiful flower, Nicotina. Nicotina is when we become numb. We numb our emotions and our body becomes hardened. So think about nicotine. Think about when people smoke a cigarette. They smoke a cigarette to take their mind off something, don't they? They smoke and they relax. It helps them cope with the deep feelings. That's what they feel like the cigarette does. I remember one time a situation where I had to get on to somebody about the way they were treating my youngest daughter, and they were a smoker. And it was just saying, leave her alone. She's tired and let her rest. And after that happened, that person immediately went and had a cigarette because it had hurt their feelings, even though I wasn't mean. I was just setting a boundary, but it hurt them. And they had this sensibility and weren't able to convey to me how it made them feel. Or maybe that they, and so they went and they smoked a cigarette. It's what I noticed. Instead of talking to me about it, they went and they smoked a cigarette. So nicotina, and after years and years of smoking, the body will start becoming hardened because of this. So this is what nicotina helps us with this. This is the imbalance, and it's going to help us though it's going to help us with some positive things. Okay. We're going to see that here in a little bit. Whoops. Pink yarrow. I did not put the correct botanical name here. This should be Achillomillifolium rubia. Sorry about that. We'll fix it when we send you the slides. So this is pink yarrow helps protect your energy field, okay? And this is for when you merge with other people too much, your energy. You don't have any boundaries. You have no boundaries. And a lot of times when we have suffered from physical, sexual, mental, and emotional abuse, we don't have boundaries, especially as children, because someone came into our space, did something to us that was not positive. And after that, where is my boundary? Where is it? And so we bleed into other people's stuff. It could be that you become a busybody, that you're always in other people's business. And you're bleeding, your energy is bleeding into other people. Or you feel other people's feelings, but don't know, what is this my feeling or is this their feeling? So that's what pink yarrow is all about, this beautiful flower here as we see. And then here is our agronomy, the yellow flower. So what are flower essences for self-compassion and confidence, part 2? Here we have larch. Larch is a Bach flower remedy, and it's for lack of self-confidence, expectation of failure, and self-censorship. And a lot of times it affects our throat and our communication. Again, remember, not speaking up, being afraid to be loud, because you know you're not supposed to be loud. That's shameful. Children are only supposed to be seen, not heard. And Sheila says replay, and Lisa says many times, and yes from Susan. So self-heal is about the inability to take inner responsibility for one's healing, lacking in spiritual motivation for wellness, overly dependent on external advice for health choices. So this is our beautiful self-heal. And it really helps you take responsibility for your health and well-being. And then here we have golden eardrops. Suppress toxic memories of childhood, feelings of pain and trauma about past events that affect present emotional behavior. So a lot of times your toxic emotions are suppressed, and it can be from infancy. And there's this trauma, and you don't know where it's coming from, and you don't know why it's affecting you now. And I'll give you a little story about a client that came to me, and she had adopted a baby. And this baby was given to her by a single mom. And after the baby was, and then remember, in the state of California, a mother can take the baby, I think it's up 6 months to a year back. Well, after the baby was about 6 weeks old to 2 months old, the mother said she wanted the baby back. So they gave the baby back. And then winter came, and the mother decided she wanted to go snow skiing. And she says, I'm giving her back to you. Now, this baby, when it returned to them, would not allow them to give her a bottle. If they, hold the baby and hold the bottle like this, right? And look at the baby would not look in their eyes. The baby would not look in their eyes. They had to hold the baby's back to their chest, tilt back like this, and hold the bottle like this for the baby. The baby would not look in their eyes. Now, this is a baby. So they brought her to me when she was 5 years old, and she was very disconnected, disassociated from other people. Her body, she was very rigid in her body also. And one of the flower essences I gave her was golden eardrops for suppressed toxic memories of childhood. Now, she was very smart and she did well in school, but she just didn't associate with people. And she was not autistic. This was a trauma from being abandoned. And so I gave her golden eardrops along with Mariposa lily and some other flower essences. And she was very artistic. And so her mother would bring her back once a month to check to see if those flowers, and I would have her draw pictures for me. So I'd have her draw a picture as we were talking. And then when she came back after the flower, she'd draw me another picture. And in this picture that she drew me, she drew this flower. She drew this golden eardrops, and she drew Mariposa lily, and she drew every flower that she was taking. This little girl and her mother did not know anything about plants. Her mother was not a gardener. She did not look up the plant and know what it looked like. And it was incredible. And she started playing with the other children. She started, giving them hugs. And so we can see how her letting go of her suppressed memories of that trauma that she had with her birth mother, and she started feeling safe again, right? And so she was able to be vulnerable. So let's look at vulnerability. We have 2 flower essences for that. Pink monkey flower, healthy opening to others when hiding essential parts of self. Nicotina, be more in touch with real feelings of your heart, how you're really feeling. So it makes you more open to others with heartfelt feelings. Masking and afraid of feelings, agrimony, wakeful true inner peace from acknowledging pain and suffering. Nicotina, numbing feelings, leading to hardening of the body, reconnecting to the body, heart, and the earth. And the feeling that it gives you is feeling deep peace in your heart. So you no longer have to mask your feelings. You can talk to your friends about how you feel. You can tell people how you really feel about, if you can't do that, then talk to a therapist. So that way you can have that deep inner peace in your heart. Afraid to make a mistake. Pink monkey flower. Again, there's that vulnerability, huh? If I go out and I buy a horse and I want to show it, I might, not sit in the saddle properly the whole time in the class. My horse might throw his head. But you take the risk. And pink monkey flower is when you're afraid to be seen, being touched physically, or making physical contact with others. Larch, feelings and anticipation of failure due to poor self-image, often giving up before trying. And then here we have, Lisa was saying, how beautiful is that golden eardrop flower? Yes. Lisa says, I saw that with my adoptive son. Attachment disorder is a big concern with foster birth adopted children. I wish I knew about this back then. Yes, it is a wonderful one, along with Mariposa lily, to be using for adopted children. And I would say rescue remedy too, but thank you, Lisa, for that comment. So these two flowers here can help you with renewed confidence, with an open heart towards others, yourself and others. So you're opening up yourself because you're going to have more self-compassion, and you're also going to open yourself up to others. And be vulnerable. I can love this person. I can be with these people. They're not too rich for me. You know, there's always these things we have in our head. I can succeed. So think about that. Now let's go to rumination. Okay, this is where you are just going over and over the stuff, the reasons why you can't succeed, the reason you can't do this, the reason you can't do that. These people will see me. Oh my gosh, I can't do that. So pink yarrow, and I find this very wonderful. Pink yarrow is for when we're allergic to emotional confusion and disharmony, and we internalize it. We take it for ours. So we've got all this stuff going around wrong outside of ourselves, this confusion, this disharmony, and we take it for ourselves instead of dispersing it. And then we wonder why it's going over and over in our heads, right? Self-heal for not accepting your inner power to heal, to know that you can do it. Instead, you just ruminate on all these things. No, can't do that. No. Oh, and it's the shame that's blocking you. Knowing that you are capable of transformation. So using these two flowers can help you with acceptance of inner power with greater objectivity and containment. That means, you know, you can be like the eagle on its perch, and you can see out and be more objective about the situation. You're not in the forest, you know, and you can't see for the trees. You're like that eagle up on its perch. And you can be more contained, where you don't have to take that emotional debris and toxic stuff from other people. That can go out of your energy field. So let's look at repressed memories, just like the little girl who was 5 years old who had been adopted. Contacting one's childhood experiences as a source of emotional well-being. You know, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to that stuff. Well, I didn't at 28 either. I didn't want to go there. And I tried to stuff it back down. But once my aunt told me her story and I let it out, my story, I realized I had to do something about it. And I had to go to therapy, and it began my flower essences, because my reflexologist had flower essences. And that's when I discovered them then. So you got to deal with it. Don't keep suppressing it. Let it go. So that way you can be who you really are. Self-heal, affirming and drawing from the wellspring of your etheric life towards recovery and restoration. So the self-heal, you're gonna have these memories, and the self-heal is gonna help you get through it. It's gonna help you get through it because you know you can do it. So it's a recovery and restoration of the self. Now, we want to let you know that today people can win my book, but if you would like to share the book with any of your friends and family, today it's $15. Zoe will put the link in our comments for you guys to purchase it. We also will put it in our Facebook groups and on our YouTube channel. But my book talks about flower essences and how to use them in all different ways, along with essential oils. There's 170 formulations in the book. There's also A to Z elements. And there's also, we talk about how to use essential oils with traditional Chinese medicine and reflexology. So we're going to make sure that you have my book and that you enjoy all the good information in it. So let's look at what is an essential oil. An essential oil is the vital energies inside of roots, such as ginger and vetiver, which we're going to be talking about today, seeds, cardamom, plants like lavender and geranium, flowers such as neroli, jasmine, and rose, resins, frankincense, and myrrh, trees, pine. And we can talk about, juniper can grow into a tree, but, in France, where we lived in Domaine de Castellou, where Zoe was born, they were more bush-like, right? And they were everywhere. So we had wild lavender, we had wild thyme, we had juniper, and, my husband would make boeuf bourguignon, and he'd say, Zoe, go up to the juniper and get us some juniper berries for that boeuf bourguignon, because in France, we put juniper berries in boeuf bourguignon. And trees, we had black pine trees there. And also, I want to mention here that's not written here is about grasses, lemongrass and citronella, right? And then fruits, we have orange and bergamot and mandarin and lime and much more. Each essential oil has different chemical constituents and they are lipophilic. That means they love fat, essential oils. They love fat. That's why they work so well in like this rollerball, because I've got apricot oil in here, right? And they just love it. They solubilize right into that because they love fat. These chemical constituents have many different properties: antiviral, anti-infectious, soothing, cooling, calming, stimulating, energizing, expectorant, and analgesic. And they work on aromatherapy is what we call these healing energies from essential oils. They work on us physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And here's a cute little picture of Zoe, and we were cutting lavender in Domaine de Castellou with our little favorite friend, Joel. And Joel has known Zoe before she was even born, and he cuts the plants in Domaine de Castellou. So what are the essential oils for self-compassion and confidence? Because that's what we're working on. Our goal is to be compassionate towards ourselves. That way we can be compassionate towards others, and to build our self-confidence and let go of the shame. So bergamot helps you when you're feeling stressed, irritable, and depressed. Lavender helps when you suffer from irritation, frustration, stress, tension, emotional violence, shock, and trauma. Geranium helps when you need consoling, when you're working on your inner child, feeling irritable, overly sensitive, tense, and depressed. Juniper, as we're working with it today, helps you when you're feeling confused, fearful, and need to purify your mind and protect your energy field. Vetiver helps when you feel isolated, frustrated, hostile. That means you're hostile towards others, which we remember shame can do that. Angry, not stable, and ungrounded. And when you're feeling deep shame, you're not grounded. You're not really stable usually. Peppermint helps you when you feel mentally fatigued, shocked, helpless, overworked, sluggish, lethargic, apathy, depression, and anxiety. So let's look at our olfaction healing for vulnerability. Vetiver connects us to the earth and brings us vital energy because it's a root, right? And it gets our feet on the ground. Lavender helps to relieve us of shock, trauma, anxiety, and nervous tension. So you put these two together, they're stabilizing and grounding to help us so we don't feel so vulnerable and we're more open. Then we have masked and afraid of feelings. Bergamot relieves the stress and tension due to masking feelings. When we're masking our feelings, we're feeling stress and tension in our physical bodies and also in our minds. Peppermint refreshes and cools the mind and body, and lavender relaxes the mind and the body when afraid. So these three essential oils here, they relieve and relax. You could say refresh too. Afraid to make a mistake. Bergamot helps you feel uplifted and invigorated so you can get out of that mindset. Juniper gives you the feeling of protection and clears that out. And lavender gives you the ability to feel mentally calm and confident. So when you put those three essential oils together, you have protected with calm confidence. Rumination. Peppermint stimulates clear thinking so that we're not going over and over, while lavender helps to stop the mental chatter. And vetiver, again, gets those feet on the ground and helps you feel energized because it's working on that root chakra of your body. And then you're able to be stable, and that energy then flows through that spinal column. So you can have clear and calm thinking. Repressed memories with olfaction healing. Lavender relaxes your mind so you're able to access repressed memories. You can't access something when you're all tied up. You're in the fetal position. You're slumped over. You can't look at people in the eyes, right? You can't access anything. You're not willing to speak up for yourself. So when you relax the body, then you can access those memories. And that way you can let them go. And peppermint clears the mind of the congested thoughts holding you back from remembering. It's always easy to go off and do something else than do your internal work, right? To work on this internal conflict that you might have within yourself. And these two essential oils together can help you access your memories clearly. So let's look at our blend today. This is Self-Confidence and Compassion Flower Essence and Essential Oil Blend. 4 drops of Pink Monkey Flower Essence, 4 drops of Nicotina Flower Essence, 4 drops of Pink Yarrow Flower Essence, 4 drops of Golden Eardrops Flower Essence, 4 drops of Agronomy, 4 drops of Self-Heal, and 4 drops of Larch. And then we're going to place in the same bottle 10 drops of bergamot, 6 drops of lavender, 4 drops of geranium, 1 drop of peppermint, 2 drops of juniper, and 1 drop of vetiver. And you're going to put it in 1 ounce bottle carrier oil like this. For example, a roller ball. It would be better if you did put it in a roller ball. And I did mine with apricot oil. And I like apricot because it penetrates. It's very light. It penetrates the skin very easily. And not a lot of people have allergies to it like they do with nuts. Now you can use avocado. You can use sunflower. So you place them in the amber bottle, you add your apricot oil, put your lid on it, and then you're going to roll it between your hands like this, okay, to get the ingredients mixed. Then, which I didn't mention here in the instructions, you're going to tap it on the bottom like this. And what that does is that ignites the flowers into the formulation, okay? Then you're going to apply it to your temples, the back of your neck, your heart, and your solar plexus. And then what you can do is you can apply it to the same areas of your hand. You can go in my book and you can check those reflex points. So on your left, you have your heart, so you would apply it there, right? Your thumb, you have your neck like this. And then your solar plexus would be underneath the pad of your hand like that, okay? Oh, and that smells so good. Do not use in pregnancy or with children under 3 years of age. Use flower essences with pregnant women and small children. So what you can do is with pregnant women, just take out all the essential oils and small children and just add your flower essences in there with your apricot oil, and you've got a flower essence blend that is safe for pregnant women and small children. And you can check out more information about this in my book, Common Sense, A Practical Guide to Aromatherapy. All right, so let's do our mindful exercise awareness of shame. I want to make sure all of you have a pen and paper, and I'm going to check out to see what if Zoe has said anything else. So make sure you have a pen and paper, okay? Grab your paper here and a pen, okay? Put it beside you. Then take your juniper essential oil and mountain pennyroyal flower essence combination. And you're going to take a short sniff, okay? Now you're going to place the blend again on that third eye point, that indigo point there, okay? And we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. And here we go, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And now, as you keep your eyes closed, I want you to imagine the color of indigo and connect into that pituitary gland, the master gland of your body, and the gland that helps us envision our future, keeps us on track. So focus in. If you don't see it, if you don't see the indigo color, do not judge yourself. Just check in on how you're feeling in your body. And let go of any stress, tension, friction, or pain. Feel your energy field protected and safe. Feel safe within yourself. And now slowly open your eyes. And we are going to do an exercise that's called open heart, because being vulnerable is about opening your heart. So what you'll do is you'll bring your arms out straight here in front of you. You'll put your hands together. We start like this with our hands together. You're going to breathe in through the nose, and you are going to breathe out through the nose. It's a different breath. So and you're going to bring your arms out to the side and back as far as you can, depending on, like me, I have a chair behind me, and exhale. We're going to do this Two more times. Bring your hands together now. Come back in. And you are going to ask yourself these questions. Do I feel vulnerable? Yes or no? Number 2, am I masking and afraid of my feelings? Could be yes or no or sometimes. C, number 3, afraid to make a mistake. Yes, no, or sometimes. D, ruminate over things. E, do I have repressed memories? If you don't know, you could say possibly. Yes, no, or possibly. Okay, would anyone like to share? So Zoe was out for a while from us. A storm came over. And a question that she found for the formulation, if we go back to it, can you use castor oil for the formulation? Yes, you can. So Zoe was out because the electricity went out. Yes, you can use castor oil instead of apricot oil. And if you wanted to use it as a castor oil pack, you could do that too on your intestinal system. Okay, so how many of you answered yes? Do I feel vulnerable on A? Let me know. And Zoe's going to send it to me. If her electricity hasn't went out. It's incredible the weather patterns we've had recently. Yes, a couple people, Lisa says, I do feel vulnerable. All right. I personally myself do at times too. For sure. B, am I masking and afraid of my feelings? How many are masking or afraid of your feelings? Some people are saying sometimes, okay. Susan said sometimes. Afraid to make a mistake. How many of you are afraid to make a mistake? Let me know. Sometimes. Okay. And Susan said yes to that one. All right. Do you ruminate over things? Do you let things go over and over in your head about how it's not going to work, how you're not going to be able to do that? You know, I'm not going to be able to do it. That's just not going to work out. I don't see how. And Nora says B, not really, and C, yes. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you guys. You know, by you just saying this, you're being vulnerable. and you're sharing. This is so great. So I want to thank all of you guys for being on and answering these questions and being honest with yourself and open. So D, who ruminates over things? This is probably my biggest deal. Susan says yes. I would say I'm a ruminator. And my husband has been so good about this with me, saying, Lori, just do it. Quit overthinking it. You know, he's good about finding the negative stuff to things, situations, and also seeing, you know, the big picture about stuff and the details. But also, he will go on. He will push me to go on, which is really good. I need that. And Nora said, some on D. E, do I have repressed memories? Now, you might not be able to recall them, but maybe during these little mindful exercises, and since we did our open hearts, you have been able to maybe access something. So do you have repressed emotions that you feel now are starting to come? And they might not come for days, or it could take time for you to go see someone, to talk to someone about it. Charu says, C and D, yes. Thank you, Charu, for sharing that. Okay, so Zoe will send me, anybody else has said. Now Nora said E, possibly. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being so vulnerable, all of you guys. I really appreciate it. It really helps us to get to our awareness of shame. And, you know, today we didn't talk about different forms of shame, but we will offer a master class later on about the different forms of shame and how we can get through that with essential oils and flower essences. Okay, so now let's take a short sniff of our juniper and mountain pennyroyal combination. Now that you've expressed yourself, we still want you to feel safe and protected with us here in our groups and on our YouTube channel. And just feel the energy of the juniper and the mountain pennyroyal coming over your energy field like a nice warm blanket, protecting you and helping you feel safe. And now I want you to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Releasing the stress, tension, friction, and pain in your body. Let's continue our breathing. And now focus in on that third eye point where that pituitary is, and envision yourself being protected and safe. And allow the energies of the solar eclipse and the new supermoon. Let go of the shame and help you to manifest and create with these energies and within yourself whatever it is that you want in your life, with good health, joy, and happiness. And now slowly open your eyes. So today, we have used the Lori method with scientific research and ancient healing, with flower essence therapy, olfaction therapy, essential oils. We've done some movement, which was our open heart exercises. We had a formulation. We've done breath work. And we also did storytelling. I told you my story, and some of you have shared your stories in our comments. And we've connected our bodies. That means we've connected our emotional body, physical bodies, spiritual bodies. So that way you can feel radiant and compassionate towards yourself and have self-confidence. So today, by doing this, I hope that you feel restored, that you start recovering with self-compassion and confidence. To continue your emotional wellness journey, we have our flower essence retreat. And as you see, here was our flower essence retreat last year. And our students, we were really connecting into the flowers. Each student connected into their flower. And Lisa, who's with us today, Lisa, if you want to share, you can share in the comments your flower that you that you connected in with. It was such a beautiful time to be together and to understand the subtle energies of flowers and what they offer to us. And so you'll be here at my home, and I make all the organic foods that you'll be eating. And if you have any kind of allergies, we look into that. So it's really deep work into the healing, energy healing of flowers and water, attuning to the subtle energies of flowers and how they work on a soul level, flower meditations. We have a garden study, how to connect to flowers and understand their unique characteristics. We'll be making a group flower essence that the group decides upon what flower that they all connect to. And then you'll take that home and I'll make it before your eyes. Demonstration on how to do consulting skills with your clients. So that way you can find really what flower essence will work best for them. Different selecting techniques. We'll be teaching muscle testing also. So that way you can learn muscle testing and how to test for the flower essences. And we'll also be using flower essences and essential oils together. We'll have case study presentations by our graduates, organic food prepared by my love and hands, and a special evening with healing music. The cost is $440, and it's for 3 days. It's May 3rd, 4th, and 5th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. here, Pacific time in Bakersfield, California. So you need to get signed up as soon as possible, get your flights made, and I can't wait to see you there. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask Zoe or I. You can send me a message at lori@lorihargis.com. Put your questions in the comments so that way we can answer them once we're done with our quiz. So what have you learned so far? What is emotional intelligence? What is shame? What are physical signs of shame? What is a flower essence? Which flower essence do you use to help when you feel vulnerable? What flower essences help you when you're masking and afraid of your feelings? Which flower essences help when you're afraid to make a mistake? And what 7 flower essences work? And it shouldn't be for focus and clarity. It should be for self-compassion and confidence. So let's go to our first question. What is emotional intelligence? And remember, whoever answers all these questions and you answer tomorrow, you're going to get a chance to win a free spot in our Flower Essence retreat. Okay? Just remember that. And our Flower Essence retreat is $440. So that means you get to participate for 3 days. All you've got to do is just get an airplane flight here. Find a place to stay. So what is emotional intelligence? Oh, I got to go back because you're supposed to tell me that. So while I'm waiting for your answers and Zoe to tell me, Lisa said after she did the meditation that there is always fear, but it is a good fear that keeps me focused. No challenges allow empowerment and pass forward, and no. And before that is accepting and exploring them. Excellent. Susan says, this is really transformational. Thank you, Lori. Lisa said, thank you. And her flower essence that she took during the class says it's hot lips. And she said she had an amazing time at a retreat last year and she highly recommends it. Susan says the ability to recognize, understand, and manage and use emotions effectively. And then Zoe's asked me now to, yes, Zoe, you can do that. You can send it to me on Signal instead because she can't copy and paste. So I'm going to go to my Signal here app. Let's see here. There it is. So Lisa says, for emotional intelligence, ability to know how you feel and what is affecting how you feel. Okay, thank you, Lisa. Great job. So, emotional intelligence is a multifaceted concept encompassing the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and use emotions effectively in oneself and others. It plays a critical role in interpersonal communication, self-awareness, and decision-making. What is shame? Let me know in the comments, what is shame? Nora says, recognize, understand, and manage emotions with self and others for emotional intelligence. And she's still sending more answers for the first question. And now second question answers. What is shame? Susan says, emotions that involve negative self-evaluation, believing something is wrong with you as a person. That is excellent, Susan. And let's see what everybody else has to say. Keep it up, you guys. Lisa says, something that tells you you are bad or wrong or unworthy. Yes. So shame is an emotion that involves negative self-evaluation, believing that something's wrong with you as a person. You may believe you haven't lived up to certain standards and feel unworthy or inadequate as a result. Shame often operates outside of conscious awareness, making it challenging to identify and overcome, but healing and growth are always possible. Next question. What are physical signs of shame? This is important because this will help you to recognize it in yourself and also in others. This is, I told the story about the airport situation. I mean, look how, by that person recognizing that, how it helped that person. Susan says shame emotion that involves negative self-evaluation, believing something is wrong with you as a person. Okay, good. It came through twice again now, Zoes. Okay. And now we're on the physical signs of shame. What are some of those physical signs of shame? Susan says chest pain, tension, not wanting to talk, avoiding eye contact, and no motivation. Excellent. Anybody else want to answer these questions? This question, I should say. What are the signs of shame? And remember, when you do this, you get a chance to win a free place in our Flower Essence retreat. Lisa says lack of energy, motivation, poor withdrawn posture, inability to speak up for self, anxiety, lack of self-confidence, and eye contact. Good job. And who else wants to answer this question? You know, I find it interesting that people, because of the vulnerability is so big with shame, that they're not even willing to even look at it. So be very proud of yourselves today that you are in this class and that you are doing this. Okay, so let's. Chest pains, increased body heat, tension in the chest, cannot talk loudly, not wanting to talk at all, avoiding eye contact, gut problems, collapsed posture, and low energy. Our next question. Whoops, and no motivation. Next question, what is a flower essence? This is very important because we have to understand how then we can use flower essences for shame. So what is a flower essence? Oh, and then Nora said heart and tension in front of the body and collapsing to the fears of others. Yes, that was from the previous question. Zoe's internet is slow. So the question now is, what is a flower essence? I guess what I want to say to all of you is be very proud of yourself for being here today and to take this on, this shame and blame game. And we can't wait to see you with us tomorrow for our class on blame. So Susan says a flower essence is a liquid, potentized preparation, each carrying a distinct imprint of a character of a particular flower. Good job. Flower essence are liquid potentized preparations, each carrying a distinct imprint of the character of a particular flower. Next question, which flower essences do you use to help with vulnerability? Which flower essences did I mark in there? Oh, Lisa said, the captured subtle energies of a flower used to make shifts in our own energy fields to bring greater resilience and fullness in our energy field. Nora said, the essential energy of flowers that enhance the energies of our benefits. Great. Good job. I love all the different descriptions of it, and that work perfectly for flower essences. So now, which flower essences do you use to help with vulnerability? And remember, the more you answer, the more chance you have to win that space. You get to spend 3 days here with me in California, in the beautiful garden. Pink monkey flower, Susan said. Great. And what's the other one? There's 2 of them. Lisa said nicotina to help soften the body, and pink monkey flower. Good job. Keep it up, you guys. All right, so it's pink monkey flower and nicotina. Next question. What flower essences help when you're masking and afraid of your feelings? And another person, Nora, she said pink monkey flower, agrimony, and pink yarrow, nicotina. So what flower essence help you when you're masking and afraid of your feelings? And Nora got it here, agrimony, and what else? It's got a couple more questions here on our flowers, and then we'll go to our essential oils. I just want to make sure you guys get all this information. It's so important that you understand the flowers that work for these different indications, and then the essential oils too, and how we combine these 2 beautiful healing modalities together. Pink yarrow, very good. Okay, Nora, good job. Lee said nicotina and agronomy to connect with your inner self. Great. All right, agrimony and nicotina. Excellent. Good job, you guys. Next question. Which flower essences help when you're afraid to make a mistake? Which flower essences help when you're afraid to make a mistake? These are like, should be in, when you're getting ready to do a presentation, or maybe people have told you that, you can't do that, you're not good at that. And you want to have that self-confidence to do it, right? They shamed you into believing you can't do something. So which flower essences help when you're afraid to make a mistake? Nora, larch and pink monkey flower. Good job. Lisa said larch for failure and pink monkey flower. Okay, so we have larch and pink monkey flower. Good job, you guys. And now let's look at what 7 flower essences work for self-compassion and confidence. These were the flowers that we used in our formulation. So what is all 7 flower essences? They're not all written up here on our slide because there's some I didn't ask about. So what are they? We've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 3 more that aren't mentioned here, but are mentioned in the other slides and our discussion. So what are those? What are all 7 of them? This is so exciting to be able to share this information with you guys, and the depth of the work that you're going to be doing with these flowers and these essential oils when you use this formulation. It's truly deep work. And a lot of times, people aren't even willing to look at it, but maybe they'll look at this class later on. And, we will be sending a recording out. So Lisa said golden eardrop, self-heal, large, pink monkey flower, agronomy, nicotina, and pink yarrow. Woohoo! Anybody else want to share? Remember, the more you answer, the better chance you have of winning that 3-day flower essence retreat. Susan, golden eardrop, self-heal, larch, pink yarrow, nicotina, agronomy, and pink monkey flower. And Nora, golden ear, self-heal, larch, agronomy, pink yarrow, nicotina, pink monkey flower. Let's go here now. Woohoo! Nicotina, pink monkey flower, pink yarrow, self-heal, agronomy, larch, and golden ear drops. Congratulations to you guys. Now let's go on to our essential oil part of our quiz. What is an essential oil? Which essential oils help with vulnerability? What 3 essential oils help with relief and relaxation? What 3 essential oils help you with rumination? And what are the 6 essential oils that help you to be self-compassionate and confident? And what essential oil, flower essence, and other healing modalities did we use during our mindful exercise to purify and protect you? So let's start off with number 1. What is an essential oil? And I know I always ask this in the class, but it's very important for us to understand that. And Nora said, I'm ashamed of my typing. Nora, I love that. I think it's more of an embarrassment, right? Because you're making fun. Don't worry about it. I understand what you're writing. You're participating. That is the most important thing. No judgment here for sure. No shaming from me. So, okay. Susan said vital energies from the roots, seeds, plants, grasses, flowers, resins, and trees. Great. And I accidentally hit that. And grasses she got. So she got it all in there. Good job, Susan. Anybody else? Remember, you get that chance to win 3 days here at our Flower Essence Retreat. We want you guys to be able to come here. We're giving 1 place. Zoe's sending me another message now. Lisa said, potent energies of plants used for their therapeutic properties to affect our mental, physical, energetic, spiritual, and mental health and emotional health. Good job. Okay. And Nora said, essential oil energies form from plant parts. Okay, so here we are. The vital energies from inside of roots, seeds, plants, grasses, flowers, resins, trees, and remember grasses, fruits, and peels. Good job. So, which essential oils help with vulnerability? Which essential oils help with vulnerability? And I think you guys are going to be really able to help yourself and others with this information. You're going to be able to be more present because you are acknowledging the shame that you've had in your life. And then people are going to be able to feel more safe and protected and opening up to you. So, Susan said lavender and vetiver. And thank you, Nora. All right, who else wants to answer? Which essential oils help with vulnerability? Remember, vetiver really helps ground us because when we're feeling vulnerable, we're not really open, huh? We're not really connected. We're more disassociated, aren't we? Just like the little one was, she couldn't be vulnerable. She couldn't look in your eyes, even though she was a baby. She couldn't do it. She was afraid to be vulnerable. She was afraid to look in people's eyes. A sweet little thing, because she was, concerned that, will I be abandoned again? It's important for us to see how vulnerability and how shame can come from another issue, isn't it? Another outside issue. So Nora said lavender and vetiver. Good job. Okay. So the answer to the question is lavender and vetiver. All right. Next question. What 3 essential oils help with relief and relaxation? What 3 essential oils help with relief and relaxation? Because we have to be relaxed, don't we, to be able to get to that shame or those repressed memories of the shame. So that way we can be open to healing ourselves and also having better relationships with others. So what 3 essential oils help with relief and relaxation? Susan says bergamot, lavender, and peppermint. Good job, Susan. You guys keep it up. Come on, keep this up. You're all doing a really good job. And bergamot and lavender have a chemical constituent, linalool, that helps us with any anxiety and helps us to relax. And then menthol also is very cooling and relieving because a lot of times when we have shame out, we have a lot of body heat. And Nora says lavender, bergamot, and peppermint. Keep it up, Nora. Good job. Bergamot, lavender, and peppermint. Next question is, what essential oils help you with rumination? This is when you're overthinking everything, you're ruminating on all this stuff, the reasons why you're not good enough, why you can't do it. It's not possible. It's because you had some shame and it was put on you, and then you start going over this. Peppermint, great job, said Margaret. Okay. Thank you, Margaret, for participating. Keep it up. I'm glad you've made it here with us today. Nora said saying peppermint, but there's another one though, isn't there? There's a couple other ones, so check that out. What other ones now? Juniper, okay, Margaret said. Vetiver, lavender, and peppermint. All right, so said Susan. So let's look at our answers here. Lavender, peppermint, and vetiver. Good job, you guys. And what are the 6 essential oils that help you be self-compassionate and confident? And Nora says, as before, okay, and add 3 more. Lavender is one of them, yes. What are the other 5? What are the other 5 essential oils that are in the formulation? So far here, we're just showing lavender, vetiver, bergamot, and peppermint. So that's 4, but there's 2 other ones, isn't there? There's 2 other essential oils that are in the total formulation. What are those? What are all 6 of them? What are all 6 of those? Susan, bergamot, lavender, geranium, juniper, peppermint, and vetiver. Good job. Who else knows? Who else can help us with that? You know, and it's interesting too, if you go back to the slide, you'll see that each one of those slides with those essential oils on it are formulations. So you're not just getting one formulation at the end. You're getting 7 different formulations. So Nora says, I find it interesting that with juniper and bergamot. Yes, it is interesting with juniper and bergamot. If you notice the bergamot too, you need to make sure that it's FCF. It doesn't have the coumarines in it, so you do not want it to be phototoxic, okay? So make sure that it's that. And the juniper is in a very small amount, so it's not too green. So you'll still have this nice citrusy aspect of the bergamot in the formulation that will be pushed with the geranium to draw out the flowers of the geranium and the balancing effects of the geranium in the formulation. So give that one a try. So Nora, yeah, it is a very interesting formulation. So here we go. So juniper, bergamot, geranium, lavender, peppermint, and vetiver. And our last question is, what essential oil and what flower essence and other healing modalities did we use during our mindful exercise to purify and protect today? So what did we do today? We used what essential oil and what flower essence that was in the health forecast, and we did it twice today, and then we did some other healing modalities today too. So what is that? What else did we do besides use essential oils and flower essences? We did a couple other things. So Zoe is going to be sending me your answers. Then what we'll do is Zoe will juniper and mountain pennyroyal. Okay, that was essential oil and the flower essence. And what else did we do today? Margaret put juniper. Good job. Yes. What else did we do today to help you in our mindful exercise? We did the open heart. Excellent, Margaret. Yes, we did our open heart, right? This is a yoga exercise. This is movement. We did that. And what else? One other thing too. And Nora said breathing. You guys rock. So we did juniper essential oil, mountain pennyroyal flower essence, breathing, and then we did yoga, which was the movement of the open heart. And which connected our bodies, which connected all of us, our energy field, our mental, emotional, and our physical bodies. Okay, great job, you guys. So now, Zoe, you guys will all be winning. Everyone who answered the questions will all be winning a book today. So Zoe's going to put that in our list. We'll be sending you a book, and you'll be put on our list for winning a place at our Flower Essence retreat. And Margaret said yes, and checking in with our emotions. And that is correct, Margaret. We did check in with our emotions. Thank you for adding that. That is so true. So tomorrow, in our emotional intelligence, releasing the shame and blame game with flower essences, part 2 will be on blame. It will be at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is tomorrow, April 9th. Want to make sure that you're there. And we will be talking about blame and how to use essential oils and flower essences for blame. Now, this can be internal blame or where you're blaming others and you're always the victim of others. Okay? We're going to be working on those 2 different aspects. And make sure, though, that today that you do some breathing, you work with the energies of the solar eclipse and the supermoon, and we'll see how you are. We'll do a little check-in at the beginning, just like we did today. So make sure you bring your juniper essential oil and your mountain pennyroyal. And let's have our questions now. So does anybody have any questions for us? Love to hear your questions. We're here to answer you. And it could be that tomorrow, or tonight before you go to bed, you think of a question, write it down, and tomorrow put it in our comments too, or you can send me an email at lori@lorihargis.com and let us know how you're doing. That's tomorrow. We're going to be checking in with you to see how you're doing after working with juniper and mountain pennyroyal with the subtle energies of the solar eclipse and the new moon. So I'm waiting, Zoe, for any questions that might have popped up during our session, or if anybody has any questions. What can you do for itchy skin? Well, I would suggest that you send me a message and let me know we have to find out the cause of the itchy skin. And then we would be able to make you a formulation. There is a flower essence for itchy skin. It's called, it's very interesting. It's called poison oak, right? It's the flower from poison oak. And that is something when people have itchy skin. Of course, there's always carrier oils that can help with itchy skin, like calendula, rose hips. Those are all anti-inflammatory. And then you have your anti-inflammatory essential oils such as lavender, Roman chamomile, helichrysum, clary sage. Those are all very anti-inflammatory essential oils. But we need to really find the cause, and then we'd be able to make you a really good formulation. So, Zoe, do you have any other questions from anybody else? All right. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I want to thank all of you guys for being here with us today and sharing your vulnerability, because sometimes we won't even go there, right? We won't even admit that we have shame. And people will say, oh, I don't want to get involved in that. Oh, Lori, she's going way too far out. But this is happening every single day, and we're seeing it. Especially, we're going to be having a special master class on body shaming, because this is going on all over the internet. We're having children 11 years old having body shame, bad images of their bodies, because they're seeing how they're supposed to look perfect. They're supposed to exercise this way. They're supposed to do this and this and this and that. They're supposed to be perfect. And they don't look like that model or that person, or their body's never going to be like that. And so there's a lot of shaming going on, and we want to help people. We want to give them the emotional healing tools and skills to get through these kinds of challenges. And so by you just understanding emotional intelligence and shame and the flower essences and essential oils that can be helpful, what you can do for yourself and to help others. Zoe and I want to thank you, my whole team, Ruth and Sue, for you guys being with us today. And we can't wait to see you tomorrow on April 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And don't forget your essentials. Use your common sense. Au revoir.